Okay. I'm Arab, so there's more than one name. But because we have like
Okay.
five names in ourselves, we're just gonna make it like simple first name and final name.
Okay.
Ahmed Al Mulla. And
Almullah.
if you're curious, my full name is Ahmed Jamal Yusuf Al Rahman Al Mulla. It's gonna take too long. My passport takes too long just to do that.
You know what? I will keep this in the episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, what's up, guys? Jairus here, and welcome to another episode of Jairus Inspires podcast. And today we have a very, very special topic. I admit this is something that I have almost no knowledge about. The topic for today is about autism, and Ahmed Al Mulla is autistic and also content creator at the same time. And I admire this guy so much. He attended a lot of my workshops. The moment I came up with this podcast, I was like, I want to invite Ahmed, and I want him to be here to share awareness about autism, and also share some knowledge and his journey in this content creation world. So, Ahmed, before we start with the topic, I want you to introduce yourself to all the people watching this
Yes.
episode.
Gladly. Hi everyone. My name is Ahmed Al Mulla. As Ruth said earlier, I'm actually autistic. I was diagnosed when I was like 7 years old. I was nonverbal. And my parents were actually wondering, well, what's wrong with my son. So then afterwards, I decided to actually have my first ever word, which was wasalna, which is we're here in Arabic, and my parents got freaked out. Like
No
my
way.
my son is talking for the first time ever, and
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's basically how it all started. Then afterwards, I got places supporting,
Yeah.
you know,
We know each other for
for a few years actually.
You've been following me for so long,
Yeah.
and you attended a lot of my workshops, which is I'm really thankful of.
Yeah, it's actually quite interesting. Like, it's an amazing like workshop that I do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I remember when you approached me, and I was like, "Oh, I find this guy very inspiring." Okay, Ahmed, let's start this episode of autism by sharing us what is autism.
Okay, so basically, for those of you who don't know, autism is a neurological disorder that actually is gone through birth. It's not
Okay.
something like, say, example, like if you have a broken thing or whatever, it's going to heal up or anything like that. It's like something that's permanently part of your brain, and
Okay.
the only way for you to get rid of it is if you amputate the part of the brain and turn it into a vegetable. It's basically like part of like, say, think of it like a okay, bring in terms that everyone knows. Phones example. My like your operating system, like for those who are neurotypical, the ones who don't actually have those things, they're iPhones.
Okay.
Mine is Android, and basically it's just variations of it, and we're all in the part of a spectrum. Like, more than one specific part of autism is not the same as the other.
Okay.
And or if you make it much easier, like think of it like a Mac and a Windows.
Yes.
You're a Mac and I'm Windows.
Okay.
So there's just too many things to do, and there's no actual proper way of talking about it.
Yeah. And I remember you were mentioning in one of your story I saw that there are different types of autism.
Yes, the actual types are levels. Actually, for those of you who don't know, actually, back then it used to be called Asperger's syndrome. But then afterwards, the newest diagnostic thing called DSM-5. This is the thing that the therapists use as guiding, like a guideline on how to diagnose certain conditions. It used to be called Asperger's. But then afterwards, the problem is it's part of the spectrum, the autism spectrum family, but it was not called autistic. It wasn't called autism. And that confused a lot of people. Mainly in that and some other reasons that I can't talk in the podcast. They decided to change the name to autism.
Okay.
I'm actually known as level 1 autism.
Level.
And the higher the level, the more difficulty people require. Like for me, I'm independent basically. I can do whatever like everybody else does. I just have some small minor quirks. Like I can't, certain frequencies actually irritate my ears, and certain scent or taste. Apart from that, I'm more or less the same, except I don't actually have an idea of how like social situations happen. I actually build it upon it, and based on the aftermath of what happens, I figure things out.
Okay.
But not during. So basically, I could say so many things, and I didn't realize I offended you until, say, example, you're upset afterwards. That's the actual thing. We're not like non-empathetic, because people apparently think that we're not able to do that. The problem is we're hyper-empathetic, but we're not well aware of the situation until it actually unfolds.
Okay, good. Can you give us because again, as I've said, I don't know anything about autism. In fact, I think you're the only person that I know that has this. Can you give us like a simple sign of someone who is
Well, I really can't give you a proper thing because, like I said, it's a broad spectrum. I can give you my perspective on what I think, but I can't say for everybody else. Say example like, Okay, like when I talk without filters, I don't really know when to I don't know when to be quiet.
Okay.
Sometimes I talk too much and
Yeah.
I get excited.
You're aware. You're aware of it, right?
Yeah, I'm aware of it now, but
Yeah.
before it was much more difficult. And also, like, I don't know, there's something called stimming. Basically, stimming is like a repetitive motion to be able to actually help us cope with a lot of things. For
Okay.
example, some of them have flicking their hairs, some of them do this.
In your situation.
Yeah, for me, I when I get over anxious, I tend to do this.
I never seen you do
Yeah,
that.
because I have more control over myself. But there's also one extra thing: meltdowns. Autistic people are prone to having meltdowns, especially when some situations are not controllable. You know, like say example, like say example, if a family member passed away, or someone actually argued at you and yelled at you, and things like, or like loud noises and locations like very high lighting and everything like that. These are prone to meltdowns. Or like say example, unexpected things with routines. Like we actually hate when our routines are broken, but some of us just have to cope with it. And this one, yeah.
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 Okay. Good. Okay. So I wanna talk about your passion in content
Yeah.
creation.
Yeah.
That's basically why I invited you here, and that is the goal of this podcast: is to invite creators and share their knowledge and share their
Yes.
experiences to be able to hopefully somehow inspire more creators. You
Yes.
know? And in your situation is very special.
Yes.
Like, I salute you for keep doing your passion, despite of this. So bro, can you just give us an insights of how do you start taking pictures or holding a camera?
Well, yeah, thank you. Okay, sorry about the interrupting. Some
Sure.
of the parts of the autism is that I tend to interrupt people sometimes, and that's
No
just
worries.
part of the quirk itself. Okay, so basically, it's kind of weird, but I didn't actually know exactly I was a I wanted to take photos and videos, not even in my college. You see, I actually, after I graduated, I decided to pursue animation as my main major.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was before the whole thing. Then afterwards, I actually enrolled in a higher education college in London for the foundations. Then that didn't work out. I was actually put in arts. Then after that, I actually took I did A levels. From there, for those of you who don't know, A levels is basically like they're basically like a level they can go before you go to your degree. It's like an alternate route as opposed to go to foundations. And from there, I did pick up camera. But back then I was younger, like I was in my 20s. I'm now 30s.
Come on, man. We're both
Yeah, okay,
30s.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. So basically I picked up the camera, but I didn't take it seriously. I didn't think anything about it. But somehow in my condition, like subconsciously, okay, so this might be a good idea. But I didn't know that until like after some time happened and an incident happened that I'll talk about later for that one later. Put it in it if you want to know more about it. After that, I decided to actually pursue again animation, but in the college in Dubai. Then after that, I failed animation, and that was the first failure that I actually enjoyed having. So I decided to actually like pursue and pick up a camera and study film. And from that point, I actually realized that I do enjoy photography a lot more.
Yeah.
And then from there,
And until now, I believe you are working full time.
Yes, I am actually working at a company called the Giving Movement. It's a for-profit organization, and they actually make clothes and send it for-profit charitable organization that makes clothes, and the percentage of that goes to certain charities.
Yeah, and I seen a lot of your products, and they create a lot of amazing quality shirts, and
They're very comfy.
Yeah,
and
very
by the way, something off topic, not really, not exactly, it's the same thing. We actually are high sensitive when it comes to skin as well. Like some of us are extremely sensitive to skin. That's why these clothes are quite comfortable, because when you have like extremely harsh skin, harsh clothes, it kind of makes it itchy or whatever. That's why we all tend to actually have like comfortable clothes for that as much as possible. And these are some of the examples of the clothes that actually we do enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, I just want to ask about your work environment, because you said you work full time for
The Giving Movement. The Giving Movement.
Giving
You
Movement.
can call it TGM, makes it easier.
Yeah, this GTGM. So obviously they know.
Yes.
They know that you're autistic, right?
Yes, they do.
Okay. So do they do anything like special to help you out to like you to be comfortable? If there's any, just give them a shout out. Just
TGM has actually been very helpful when it comes to the comes to the work environment. They've been very supportive. They've been very understanding. Whenever, like for example, whenever I have panic attacks, or when I'm thinking way too much, they tend to let me go get some breaks. And they're very flexible when it comes to timing.
Nice.
Like I was fortunate to actually be able to have a good salary for like working from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. and they're flexible as well. And this is one of the this is why I enjoy about TGM, because I actually do some stuff on the side. I have some side projects from time to time, not all the time, but from there I'm able to do freelancing as long as the condition is that it does not interfere with TGM things, and I cannot use equipment from TGM itself, because that's basically theft, and that's using the worst thing ever, working for a competitor using the equipment. So luckily for me, I don't do that. I do some freelancing work. And I do notify them, so it's not a major thing. They allow it. This is one of the few companies in the world, or these companies,
very few. And I always admired whenever I hear this kind of companies. Like, you know, I wish all companies are like this. Like, don't discriminate at all. So TGM, salute.
Yeah.
Salute.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go back to your content creation.
Yes.
Like you know, so you're a content creator, photographer,
Yes.
videographer. Do you think what are the challenges of, you know, being autistic and you know, being in like holding a camera or behind the camera? Is there any, like, you know?
It's mainly starting off, because the problem is sometimes pacing or moving or starting things off is a bit difficult. Like, it wasn't my first time trying content creation. I actually tried a couple of times in the past. In fact, I actually made something called Frame Vlogs. It's part of my old YouTube channel. It's basically me going throughout Dubai or UAE to actually film some stuff and then edit it off and talk about, like, you know, just to bring people along the road. Like, it takes too long. It took me too long to finally realize what I can really do. Like, I had some, what do they call it? I don't know exactly. It's basically like a catalyst. We'll just call it a catalyst towards this thing. So it wasn't that easy. Like, there were some small amounts. I did a video, a couple of them. I didn't enjoy it. I even tried a podcast once, a few times. It was very difficult, because podcasting is very difficult, actually. It's not as easy as you think it is. But from there, I decided to take it, and I'm still struggling even to this day. Like, I have only released up to 2 or 3 videos professionally so far, and I'm working to try to get some more. The problem is sometimes, okay, I can give you one thing: the work, the environment. Because the problem is I get distracted so easily. So many things like distract me, and I tend to move it from one location to the other. Like, one of my earlier videos from the recent year, I actually did an unboxing with one of the monitors.
I saw it.
It was a lot of fun actually shooting it. The problem is, like, the color grading and everything. I still need to learn about this. I'm still new to this, but I like the environment was in my room, and I didn't feel like I focused no more. The more I actually, my stuff gets moved every 5 minutes. I try to move it as much as I can to the location. Then afterwards it gets messy and I get distracted a lot more. So that's why my parents have decided to give me to allow me to use the glass house as my office and everything like that. And the environment is more controlled because it's just an empty house. And we're slowly filling it up, and I'm building my own studio into it. And maybe hopefully I'll be able to actually motivate me more, because I know people say, like, just shoot and whatever, but environmental locations, areas, people, noises, these are distracting elements. And sometimes also equipment. Like, I'd rather have accessible equipment than, say, example, have to, like, prep a camera and everything. Because first of all, you have to do lighting, you have to do sound design, you have to do a lot of things. And this is kind of too much. Like, I know people say don't make excuses, but equipment does matter. In spite of the fact that people say they don't, they do. Because every single tool, if it's accessible or as it's access, then it's amazing. But if it's too much cumbersome or whatever, I don't mind using my professional cameras for professional work, but for shooting and everything like that, I have to first get that's why I actually have more than one camera. Like, I have 2 professional cameras that I do for my professional work and 1 personal camera. And recently I've acquired the DJI Osmo 3. Yeah, that is a good camera, by the way. I really enjoy it.
Fun camera.
It's accessible. And it's easy to use. You just have to simply put it on a tripod, put some ND, and it has, like, you can literally sync to your DJI mic. And it's so easy.
It can even follow you.
It can follow. Like how amazing it is.
Technology these days, you know.
It's like, seriously, like, and my actual goal is to be able to actually have consistent content. I have an idea of what I'm going to do next with my channel, but I still need more time. And that's the thing. One more thing. I take longer than the average person to finish everything. I take long to shoot. It takes me, like, you can give me a task and I can take up to 1 week from the original deadline to finish it. Because the thing is, like, I have too many things on my mind, and I always drift away sometimes. And sometimes I procrastinate. Not because I don't care. It's just because Yeah, it's so difficult. The creatives
Yeah.
are
Yeah,
like,
yeah, sure. It's part of I think of our creative process.
yeah.
Sometimes we have to procrastinate for us to
But that's the thing. Sometimes we're too tough on ourselves, not realizing that we're human beings as well,
Yeah,
and we need
that's
some
true.
time to breathe. I know the viewers like always expect like Jerus has to post every single time, but
Yeah, sure.
at the end of the day, you're just a human being, and I'm a human being. We need
Right?
time to
You need to
break.
understand.
Yes.
There's our situation as well. We're just human beings. We get tired. We
Yeah.
get sleepy.
There, yeah, and clients think like apparently we're like as soon
Robots.
as there's actually a funny meme. I know about that one. Like as soon as the clients expect us to go back home, like get rid of everything and just first off import the photos and videos to the
Exactly.
thing and start editing it.
Exactly.
And apparently the other thing that's kind of a little annoying is the edit button.
One
Like,
click.
the right one click. Not yet though, Jervis. Not yet. The term is the not yet because eventually AI will take over, and then what clients were expecting is gonna happen.
Oh yeah.
Right now, AI is just a tool, but there's a theory that's gonna get way more than you think.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Okay, so here's another question. So if you said you work freelance as well, you work with clients,
Yes.
of course. So here's the thing: whenever you work with a new client, do you somehow give them a heads up or tell them that hey, this is my situation, or they just find out
No,
the same day you're filming?
I don't actually.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I don't always have the motivation to do it. There's only a couple of clients that have known me for a while to know about this, but whenever I approach a new client, I don't tell them anything.
Okay.
I don't really know because the problem is this is the problem. The fact is that even though you tell them, people will not understand that much. The understanding is a rather a lack information of this, and because of that,
Yeah, this is what the episode is all about: is sharing awareness.
Yeah.
Yeah.
even if they don't understand, some of them tend to say, "Oh no, you're just making it up. Oh, it's all in your head, whatever." The thing is, yeah, sure, it is in my head, but it's not in a way you think it is. Yeah, sure, it is in my head because it is in my brain.
Yeah.
My brain is actually autistic,
Mhm.
but it's not like you're gonna just simply think it over and that's it. You're cured. And by the way, the saddest thing ever is actually hearing someone like, "I've been cured from autism."
Is this something that you can cure?
No, you can't.
No?
This is something you can like adapt, but you can't like cure. It's not like a disease. It's a neurological disorder. Think of it like ADHD and
Yeah.
dyslexia and bipolar. Those are some of the neurological disorders that actually happens in the world. And you can't cure bipolar. You can't cure ADHD. You cannot cure dyslexia.
It's also something that you can control.
No, not all the time. It's not exactly controlling, exactly. More like a companion that helps you out on some situations.
Okay.
Because I remember a few times when my autism did help me a lot more than, like, say, example, of anyone else. Like, say, example, I was supposed to go to national service, like a few months back, and believe me, before that time, I was panicking because that means I have to get away from the country for 11 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how UAE National Service does. Originally, actually, the original law was they allow only one child. As long as you have only one son, you're exempt. But then afterwards, the new thing came in, and they actually changed it to like it doesn't matter. We're just gonna take you anyway.
Okay.
And my father had to go and get some like documentations and go to a military hospital in I don't remember it in Hatta, somewhere in Hatta, to show it to them. And there was like brief silence for 6 months, and because it was a recent incident that happened recently, and maybe that's why they were too busy. Then afterwards, they just forgot to tell my father, and I was relieved.
Oh,
Yeah, but seriously, autism is like it's a very it's actually, by the way, it's actually more common than you think. The reason, like, you've probably come across one autistic person or another, but the reason why it's not well aware is because first off, for there's something called masking. So basically, masking is like pretending you're not autistic, because a lot of people who are autistic have been diagnosed very late in life, due to the fact that how like environmental factors, cultural factors, and many other situations that makes it like harder to say. Like, because I know a couple of friends of mine who are autistic who actually got like diagnosed this recently, and they already had children and everything like that. And the problem is because we actually have masking to be able to mask ourselves from everything, but then after when we go back home, we get exhausted. Because basically it's a lot of energy for us to be able to socialize, everything like that. We're not all introverts, don't get me wrong, but the problem is the capacity for us to socialize in situations is very minimal. And but whenever there's a topic we can talk about, we get more invested. Like for me, I like cameras a lot.
Yeah.
I can talk to you about the entire podcast for cameras only. It'll take up to 6 hours to finish it because we have so many knowledge and experience about that. And some of them have like other interests like sharks, others like world history, others even autistics themselves like are interested in this. But yeah,
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so we gone to talk about the challenges of being autistic. Now let's go to the advantages.
Yes.
I believe you have some strengths like compared to the rest of the
Actually,
people.
yeah, I
Yeah.
do, and it hasn't been okay. First off, we're resilient. We get broken much easily than everybody else. We're
Yeah.
hypersensitive, but it takes us much shorter time to actually be able to get over things and get better.
Mm.
We're very adaptable. Like no matter what situation you are, like say example, I actually, like say example, like some situations, some sort of situations of some of my friends, I actually got affected by it in a bad way. Like I actually hurt them in a way,
Mm.
but then I understand and I adapt to that situation. We also can adapt in some environments. Like, for example, for me, I can remember one experience actually when I had when my weakness actually turned me against myself, but I actually managed to go through it. Like, for example, the expo. Man, I really missed the 2020
Oh
expo.
yeah.
It was one of the best
Expo
experiences.
was a different time, bro.
Yeah. Well, now it's not.
Yeah.
It's just a former self. It's former self.
That's true.
Anyway, so on the last show, I actually was part. I was fortunate to actually be able to be part of the David Atkins show. Basically, the organization to actually have the acts, the moving acts.
Mhm.
And the last one was the expose, the grand finale, and there were two speakers like over there. And you can understand how the situation works, like because the guy actually likes to turn on the speakers very much.
Oh,
I was the gimbal operator. I had to get that shot. I didn't give a crap what my I didn't want to do that. I didn't care what happens with my ears. I just go there, bolt it over, and
shot.
just film it. Like seriously,
Sure.
like anyone in the average person, even me, I'll probably lose my mind. But
Yeah.
I had to get that shot immediately, and that's just one of the experiences. Also, there is some unexplained things that autism's, like for me specifically, I'm able to feel what's gonna happen in the future. Like I have a strong
Wow.
sense of future
Wow.
and strong sense of time or something like that. Like it's subconsciously I'm able to understand things are happening, but consciously I'm not well aware of it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, it's almost like having superpowers, man.
it's something like that, but
Yeah.
it's not exactly superpower in a way. It's just some different form of sensitivity, basically. Like,
Yeah.
and also we're also good when it comes to detailed work.
Mm.
Like we're hyper focused to specific details, and we know what happens. If we have an idea, like say example, if we have an idea of a puzzle, we're able to fit it if we understand the final picture of it. Like we're very detail oriented, and we can notice things a lot of people don't notice, and but it's only if it's actually like if it's guided.
Mhm.
Now, if I don't mind, I want to talk to you about environmental
Sure.
things.
Yeah,
like,
go for it.
okay, so are you familiar with the environment theory?
No.
Okay, sorry. The flower theory. So basically, the flower can only grow in environments that sustain it, like
Okay.
able to do it. Say example, the flowers will never grow on a well, they will grow on a desert, but they won't grow on a wet environment. It's not going to be possible because if it's always wet or cold
Cold.
environment.
Yeah.
But if you actually can take the flower or no a petal the seed to a different location, the flower will be able to flourish. Environmental causes can actually also help like make things either break autistics or or make them.
Yeah.
Like for example, for me and like for me, I actually went to a very heavy cultural environment, and my parents they don't like to talk about autism that much. They think, my mom especially, she actually wants to say like, oh, so this he no longer has autism. These environments, like for example, yelling, trauma, and everything has been built up in childhood, and from there it's kind of hard to actually be able to like grow from it. So I had to go and adapt to different environments as well, and I found my own family. They were able to help me out, and I was able to do more because of that. Now, the same reason I mentioned that is because it actually, because I was able to find a better environment for me to thrive. I was able to do a lot of things.
Yeah.
Some of the things you already know, and some of the things I haven't done. Like, say example, I shot for the expo. I won a trophy, an award in my in the second edition of the Al Ain Fan Festival.
Ah, that's good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was actually thanks to a
Amazing.
film,
Amazing.
whatever. I was able to travel to Kyrgyzstan by myself with my friends, and I was able to survive a horse almost trampled me actually, and these are just some examples. I was also able to like just environmental
Good.
factors does help,
Yeah.
and now I'm gonna soon do a skydiving.
Huh? That's good. That's good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm quite nervous. It's my first
Yeah.
time ever skydiving, but I've done a lot of things. Like I found a proper way
Yeah.
to become healthy. I was able to be more flexible, and I was able to do a lot of things because of the people around me.
Yeah.
Now that's essential.
That's
Like
good.
if you're surrounded by people that care about you,
Sure.
that want you to grow as opposed to stunt your growth, then you'll be able to do a lot more.
Yeah.
Like
And-
I was never supposed to do these things. ever.
Yeah, that's why you're here. That's
Yeah.
why I invited you here to share awareness
Yeah.
and to inspire other people that's going through the same thing.
So may I actually add one extra thing about autism that is quite interesting.
Okay.
There's actually there are people, celebrities that you may have known actually are autistic.
No way.
Like, say example, Steve Jobs is autistic.
Wait, Steve Jobs.
Yeah, the founder of Apple. He actually is autistic. Yeah, like you can actually tell because he was very detail
I
oriented.
have no idea, bro. I
Yeah.
have no idea.
Believe me, there's been some things where he was very aggressive and everything like that, but that's just him like not lashing out.
I've
Just
heard that.
he doesn't want to have any. He wants control over everything. And there's actually a terminology called real distortion where he actually talks about like how he can manipulate things by just his mind. That's something similar to the autistics. But we're not here about Steve Jobs. We're here about autism in
Yeah.
general.
Yeah.
There's also Elon Musk.
No way, bro.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Even Elon Musk.
Elon Musk is autistic, and you can tell by how much unfiltered he is. Like you can see in social media,
Yes.
how many things, and he always likes to go on lawsuits and finds reasons to actually do that.
You always do this stuff.
Yeah, and I bet now he regrets buying X. Formerly known as Twitter, everybody. Don't forget, formerly known as Twitter. We have to stay by the times now. And also one of the biggest like people that were considered a robot at the time, Mark Zuckerberg, the founder of Facebook, and the main guy who actually gives us the content we're looking from Instagram, from WhatsApp, various types of social media. You can tell by how he's actually like his demeanor is so robotic. Only until recently when you finally decide to actually become a human being from his recent like images. But yeah, these are some of the people who are autistic. So you might actually not know, but maybe you're surrounded by people who are autistic themselves.
Maybe me too. I don't know.
You don't know that because the problem is like it's hard to get diagnosed when you're an adult.
Yeah.
But there are a lot of people who have never been diagnosed at all.
Yeah.
And this is just letting you know that these talks that I do sometimes, always to help people well aware that autism is everywhere. And by the way, one extra fact, 1% of the population is autistic. 1%, not Dubai's population, the world population.
I
So
didn't know
there's up to 1 million people who are autistic who don't even know they're autistic.
Yeah. So let's end this episode to is there any advices that you want to give to people that going through the same thing? Any encouragement or advices you want them to give to not just do content creation? Maybe there are other things that they could do, So yeah, give some advice to
Yeah.
people out there.
Okay, so the only advice, and by the way, this is just an advice. Don't take it as an actual thing to heart, whatever, because I've learned the hard way that people's advice at the end of the day is just the word mouthpiece, and it's just a subjective thing. It's an opinion piece basically.
Okay.
Just find people that care about you. I've learned that, and this is quite common actually. A lot of people think that they're by themselves. The reality is they don't.
Mm-hmm.
They're not by themselves. If they can find people that care about them to help them out, grow up, then help them grow, it's gonna be better because no one has to do things alone, and it's sometimes very difficult. Trust me, like I've been told a lot of things like I have to rely on myself, whatever. Yes, you can rely on yourself, but you also have to rely on others to help you out. If it wasn't for the fact that I had people who are around me, like say example you and everybody else helping me and supporting me in any way, I wouldn't know where I would be right now. And it's because of the people around me that actually became better, not because of myself. You can start by yourself, but you don't have to finish or move forward by yourself.
That's good.
That's the only advice I said.
And that's very powerful to like I said, surround your people, yourself with people that supports you.
Yeah.
That cares for you. And just want you to know that I truly care. Like
Yeah.
I don't chat a lot. I don't send message a lot. But whenever you post a story or something that it seems like you're going through something,
Yeah.
I always try to reply as far as I can.
Listen, I'll always know that you care. That will change.
Yeah, and also I was very happy when I saw your page, your new page.
Yeah.
What do you call it? Again?
Autism Lens.
Yes, Autism Lens. The moment I saw that I followed you and I invited you right away to
Yeah.
this podcast because I know you. We have the same goal.
Yes.
Our goal is to inspire people.
Yes.
So
But we have different directions
Exactly.
on how we
Yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Like you have already been in the industry for about a couple of years now.
Yeah.
I'm just starting off, and I'm trying to find my own
Yeah.
methodology of how I work. Like I said, I still have, and this is something that, by the way, this is advice for everyone in general, in creatives or anyone in industry. Never say I know everything. Never say you're an
of
expert
course.
in everything, because the thing is that if you're an expert in everything, then
you stop growing.
that's
Right?
it. Because the thing
Yeah.
is, you can be 50, 60 years old or 80 years old, a professional photographer who's been in the industry for nearly 50 years, but you still have more to learn. There was no such thing as like, there's no ending. The only way for ending is if you're dead. That's the only time when you're stopping learning, when you can't even live anymore.
And that's what I truly admire for you, because you always attend workshops. Like you've attended, like, I don't know, I lost count, but you've attended most of my workshops, and I saw you attended a lot of workshops as well. And you always trying to push yourself. You're always trying to find ways to improve.
Yes.
Which is I salute you a lot, bro.
I want to talk to you about one more thing. It's actually something I want to do in my life. It's called the Infinite Smile Project.
Okay.
Basically, hopefully one day I'll be able to travel around the world, taking photos for everyone around me, capture a large amount of smiles, and help people along the way.
Yeah.
And that's not right now. I'm not motivated yet to do it, but hopefully one day, before I become like 60 or something, I want to do the Infinite Smiles Project for myself.
Yeah.
It's not for charity. It's just to be able to travel around the world.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it would happen, bro. Like for me, like this podcast, I've been thinking about this for like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. You know, I only had the strength or the courage to start it now. But again, as long as you have that goal, as long as you're trying to work on it, you know, you eventually do it. So yeah, bro, thank you so much, man.
Yeah.
I learned so much about you, and I respect you even more. You're doing an amazing job. Just keep doing what you're doing, and keep on inspiring people, bro. Thanks so much.
All right, cool.
Yeah.